Should be up.
Should be.
Yep.
It's just taking a little while.
Yeah.
A little slow. All right. So this is a redo for what we tried to do last week, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Moto Monday number 76. You know, I forgot to check the levels on my microphone. How's my mic? Match the two. Top to bottom.
Okay.
So guys, Moto Monday number 76. We're working with a new mixer here. As you can see, we're playing with it.
And we don't have the headphones.
And we're without the headphones, so if there's any problems with the audio, sorry about that. We're still playing with new equipment. Yeah, we're going to talk sponsors. Or sponsorships, all of the above, sponsored riders, good, bad,
And
otherwise.
Ugly. Good, bad, and the ugly.
Good, bad, and the ugly. Where do we start? First off, introductions. For those of you who do not know, this is intern Joe. You're usually off in the corner running the soundboards, the video management. You know, you're doing a lot of, that's what she said, off in the corner there. But you own the U of MX along with your lovely lady, Jamie. And you've helped out a lot of riders from like small amateur level kids all the way up to supercross privateers.
Yes.
And I own JJW Designs, 110 Clothing. I've always had my hands in a few things. I've worked with a lot of riders, good, bad, and ugly. And a lot of ugly ones, though.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just kidding. But you're just like, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we've worked with enough people. We can have a fun conversation with this. We really have not gone over any talking points beforehand, so we're going off the cuff.
This is fresh.
Yeah, this is fresh.
Gonna be fresh.
Minty fresh, did you say?
Yeah, minty sticks.
Minty sticks fresh, yeah. So, I don't know, where do we start?
Well, I got plenty of notes.
Oh, you brought notes. You came prepared. I have no notes.
I did. So your first topic was promote yourself, and then retain sponsors, further your career, do's and don'ts. So that's the 4 topics that we were going to cover today.
Okay, so let's start. I just want to make sure that our audio is working. Would you look at that? The new soundboard is working. All right, so let's start with,
Promote yourself.
What's that? Promote yourself?
That was the first one, yeah.
Okay, so as a business owner, though, this just ties into promote yourself. What do you look for? What do you look for?
Myself, I look for talent. When we first started this, we looked for talent and riders that could do better if they had more support.
So you looked for like an imbalance of talent and current support? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we look, if we saw a rider that was fast and had potential, but didn't have the backing from, say, parents or anybody else. If their equipment wasn't good, that's where we started. That was 4 years ago.
And has much changed since then?
Now we're looking more in the area of trying to promote ourselves with the riders we choose.
So when you say talent, are you looking for, I'm curious here because there's a lot of ways to define talent, like someone who's currently doing good or someone you think has natural ability and could do better? I mean, it's all, I guess, somewhat of a judgment call, right?
Right. Right.
So you just got to go off a little bit of a gut feeling of what they got in them?
Yeah. So we started with pros. We had, I think, 5 or 6 of those local. And then we weren't really looking amateur at all. And then a couple years in, we started helping some amateurs. Seems they appreciate it more. And they are the future.
This is true.
So we're trying to build a little bit of a pipeline. And also a more variety of different riders of different classes, male, female. I mean, just kind of all over the board. We have currently, I think we have 33 plates on our cabinet walls, which is every rider that we've helped. So we're at, I think, 33, 34, somewhere in there. You could probably find out. You printed them all.
Yeah, I could probably look it up. I
Just pull it up.
made all the decals. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I really look for, and it's changed a bit over the years, you know, but I want to say it's more like enthusiasm now, because I've like helped out some people and they're pretty talented, but they don't really ever show much enthusiasm, or they don't really seem to care. It's almost like they expect you to help them.
Right.
I like the enthusiasm, and I like the person who tags me 5 times a week on Instagram stories doing random stuff, but it somehow involves, let's say, like the JJW graphics. And even if it's just a silly video, it's like enthusiastic that they're working with us or me, and enthusiasm over what they're doing. And I really believe that carries over into how well they'll get noticed by other people, because there's a lot of fast, talented people out there that no one knows their name. No one cares. You have no graphics on your bike. You just go like to free ride and play, hit a few races here and there, and you're very talented, you're very fast, but you're not giving anyone a reason to care or know, you know what I mean? You just do your own thing, and you almost seem bored all the time when people talk to you about what you do. That's not really hyping up yourself or your sponsors, and that doesn't really interest me. Right. I mean, if you're one of the top 5 Northwest pros and you don't really talk to other people, you go do your moto and then hide back in your moto van and come back out for your next moto and don't talk to people and never want, I mean, there's people I don't think never once really done a sponsor shout out. And
yeah, it's
that means zero to me. I'd rather sponsor the guy who's mid-pack 250 intermediate, who's always excited for when he gets his new, you know, he'll get a box, let's say, of new graphics. And he posts like Facebook Live, opening the box of JJW graphics. He's excited. He's giving other people a reason to get excited. And yeah, I think it's the enthusiasm is what's one of the biggest draws for me to help somebody.
Yeah, it's for us at the beginning, it was mainly support, working on bikes for free, this, that, and the other. I kind of got burnt out on doing that. So it's been mainly financial the last couple years, which then you start getting into return on investment. When you're just putting in time, it's not as crucial, but when you're putting money out, you need something back, or it's just the well's gonna dry up. So we're just looking for people that could promote us in a good way. Maybe tell people what we actually do instead of not knowing what we do, but take our help. So,
yeah, I think as far as we're still kind of on the topic of promoting ourselves or promoting themselves, whatever. I don't think a lot of people really get it, and maybe it's because they don't take what they're doing very serious unless they are full on racing Supercross. But even then, it seems like some privateers are just like, whatever, that's just what I do.
Yeah,
they're not realizing how big it is or what the potential is. I'm going to name off a couple names I think kind of show what I'm talking about. 7 Deuce Deuce. Let's be real. He has failed to make more mains than mains he's actually made it into, right?
Yep.
Okay. Talented rider, obviously, but he's true privateer, and he only makes a handful of the mains. That dude's got a social media following. He knows, and here's my opinion why. He knows who he is, and he sells that to people. He's a salesman. Now, in my opinion, a salesman is someone who, first, they start off with whatever product they have, okay? This is what I have. You have to find the right audience. Not everyone's going to want your product. Like, let's say you sell sponges. Would you go to a bunch of construction workers on the job site and sell them sponges? They're going to be like, what? Get out of here. Right. However, maybe go to a Saturday market where there's a lot of, you know, stay-at-home moms out there to get their blackberry jam, and you're showing your fancy new sponges. They're already in a buying mood. You're at a place where you know there's going to be predominantly more women than men who will fit your demographic of who to sell for. And you're also mixing up into a little something different. It's something that they would want, but it's a little something different. So now you're going to stand out. Boom. That is a strong sell right there.
Yeah.
So
he's got I believe that's on Instagram. He's riding for HEP this year. So he's got a ride
for who?
For Dustin Pipes, the HEP team.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
Which made me think, okay, we're helping a guy that beats him and doesn't have a ride. Well, yeah, it's probably that social media following. It's like Jared Snakey. You find your niche, and you get a lot of followers in that niche.
But also you have to be true to yourself. You can't fake it.
Right.
And that's just it. That's just who he is.
Yep.
So you have to also understand who you are. And if you sit down, like, what do people think of me? Like, who do they think I am? If you can't come up with anything, maybe you're really living a boring life.
Yeah, there's some boring fast
You might
guys.
need to work on a couple things, like get a real life, you know? Maybe you can pick anything. Just stop and think. I really only listen to country music. I love country music. I have 500 CDs of old country music. Okay, cool. Start rocking a cowboy hat and, you know, singing a little something and just go with that. Give them something other than I ride dirt bikes. Well, we all ride dirt bikes.
Right.
Give us something. You know, Carson Brown is known for riding 7 days a week, any riding conditions, you know, and for being just crazy fast on pit bikes. Okay. Steinke has this, I don't even know what to truly call it. The kind of, you know, he's not a true, I could pick up, no, I was going with the free ride route. Let's go Bearman. Just no cares. I free ride. I just throw down, you know, and, you know, do crazy whips.
Right.
Okay, that's his selling point. He's that crazy whip free riding guy who will kind of just meander all over in a van and just like, cool, I'll disappear for 2 weeks over in Arizona and just throw whips and take video of it. Okay, that's his selling point. Axel Hodges, bizarre like skate park tricks on a dirt bike. Chad Reed, I'm old as hell, but I still party like a rock star, and I'll still try to spank the young guys. Come up with a selling point, whatever that is. Come up with it.
Right.
And if I see you having no selling point, what are you going to do for me if you can't sell yourself? And I sometimes see guys like their talent on the track isn't quite there yet, but I feel like it could be. And they know who they are, and they sell themselves, and I think that's rad, and I'm all down for that. That's what attracts me, is someone who knows how to sell themselves and someone who has enthusiasm and gets me hyped, because then I know they're going to get other people hyped. That, I mean, it's my opinion.
Right.
Sorry if I went on a rant there.
You're fine. It's your show.
What? Yeah, it is us together on this one. Sorry, I get a little carried away sometimes. So...
Okay. So are we on the promote yourself then?
Well, are we going to offer people some tips on how to promote themselves?
Yeah.
Your turn.
Okay. So my first point was Insta videos, riding and working out. So we kind of already touched on the, showing yourself, showing what you do. Definitely, you know, if you have a lot of videos of you riding, have as many videos of you actually working out. Show people that you are into it. You know, you're 110% in.
Back to the enthusiasm part then.
Right.
Okay.
And later on, I'll touch into that too. The working out part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's an example a little later.
Okay.
So, my second point was, which we kind of spoke about already, advertise advertise yourself, but also advertise your current sponsors to prove you can follow through and appreciate current sponsors. Another one, unless you want to talk about this stuff. I mean, I just keep going, but.
One more. I'll give you one more.
Okay. Do or volunteer for some free training for littles.
Boom. Okay. Let's talk about that one for a minute. I think that is important. And you could even take it outside of that context. Just in general, spend time with your fans, would you say? Yeah. Would you say that's still safe?
And actually, my next one was hang out or just say hi to lesser riders.
Yes.
Great way to gain fans and followers.
Yes, on any level. Like, if you're the fastest super mini kid or if you're winning Supercross championships, doesn't matter. Like, same thing. Give people a reason to like you. If they kind of already think you're a cool person and you got just a little bit of star power and then you spend just a few minutes with them, or if you're a Supercross guy, just take that time to sign the autographs, spend a little more time signing autographs, and in 2-3 years, you're going to get bigger sponsors. You know who won the... He's had his down moments too, like anybody else, where he's had attitude and stuff. But you know one guy who's signed a ton of autographs? Chad Reed.
Right.
Spent a lot of time, and he's got a huge following. And like I said, there's been times where he hasn't. But in general, like I was at Seattle Supercross a few years back, and everyone was just kind of whatever. It wasn't really autograph time and stuff. And I saw someone like, Chad, can you sign this? And he was just put on a smile. It was probably totally fake. We put on a smile for him, signed it, quick picture. All right, guys, got to go. And, you know, that can make a huge impact on someone. They're going to remember that for years. So
Right.
they're probably going to frame whatever the hell they got signed.
And if you snub them, you're going to lose a follower or a fan.
Yeah, and
So-
they're going to talk about it on social media. But give them a reason to like you. Just take a couple seconds, and guess what? They're going to then follow. If they don't already, definitely follow you on social media. Then you're now sponsored by Subway. They might, on a Thursday afternoon, a Subway sandwich sounds awesome. Subway's now seeing an increase in business because of your followers. Boom. It's a trickle down.
Right.
It's a trickle down. So, take the time to work with up-and-coming riders on a local level. If you're a big national guy, spend a little extra time, a little more time than the guy next to you doing autographs or photos, and I think that'll pay off.
Yep. Another one I've got here is...
You don't have anything more to add to that? Did I just literally just take the ball and run with it?
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, so you just agree with it then?
I do.
I thought we were
I
going to
do.
debate on some of these things.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Give me something we're going to debate on.
Maybe later.
I'm not talking about women. I'm just
Yeah.
talking about sponsorships.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a lot here, buddy. I got 4 pages.
Oh, okay. Okay. Keep going.
All right. Give used tires away by doing a post every couple months. Your old tires are good enough for most beginner and trail riders.
So we're talking like fast guys here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm talking, pros and
So
intermediates,
there's
fast
pros.
intermediates. We did a post last year, I think. I had like 20 tires sitting at my house that were still good for the normal rider. They're not good enough for pros. So we just put a post up. People would come by and grab some tires. Let's see.
Well, that could go for a few things. Maybe use plastics or
Yeah. My next thing was give away old gear, pants, boots, goggles. That saves money for the other riders. It might piss off the sponsors because now they're not out buying stuff. But if you think about it, they're saving money, which will keep them in the sport. And then if they like the gear or whatever was given to them, they will rebuy later. So at first it kind of stings, but you're keeping people in the sport, which keeps the machine rolling.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, if you can spare it and help someone out, once again, you just made an impact and you're doing some good. I think local pros, just my opinion, once or twice a year should help out in one of those maybe like free riding clinics.
Yep.
Donate your time. You know
Yeah.
how many fans you're going to get out of it, especially with the little kids?
Especially-
how many of those kids, after spending 4 hours with you, are going to remember you and have their parents make sure to follow you on Instagram? And
Especially when you're trying to actually advertise that you do training for money, go do a free one. You could pick up probably a couple guys right there.
oh, thank you. I 110% agree. If you go out for a free training day, like the one that you and me have done, and you work with them for half a day, and then let them know, hey guys, if you want a little more advanced lessons and stuff, here's my flyer, and I do riding clinics, and hit me up sometime.
There's a return.
Guaranteed at least one of them will hire you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a return on investment, just like sponsor looks for. You put in 4 hours for free, you might get 20, 40 hours worth of paid labor.
Hands down.
Or work.
Yep.
But you have to have drive and motivation to do that.
Oh, we get into that.
Yeah.
Drive and motivation will get you further than intelligence. I'm a believer in that. Thankfully, because I wasn't born with a lot of natural gifted intelligence whatsoever. I think my dad would joke, like, the only real thing I got going is I'm stubborn. I just kind of... And that goes for this Moto Monday. You know how many times we've failed? We've had to cancel. We've had to skip. things have broken, things have broken, things are broken. But I'm like, we're not quitting. We're going to keep going. And look where we are now. Look, I mean, just look around, Joe, from the first Moto Monday, where it was just me and Reese sitting on some toadstool, mushroom buckets, setting up our phone that kept falling. And, well, now we got you, intern Joe.
You need an intern Joe to hold the phone.
Yeah. We didn't have intern Joe back then.
Yeah.
We got our new soundboard, multiple computers. We are starting to get the studio set up a little better. Your bald head is not shining as much with the new lights.
And I just shaved it this morning.
It's looking pretty good. I'm going to keep my beanie on because mine's pretty bad right now. But
yeah, I was looking pretty clowny with my hair.
But perseverance, stick it out, you know? Stick it out, and a little bit of work ethic, a little bit of drive, and a little bit of just initiative, and it'll pay off. And just, yeah, especially if you're doing these writing lessons already, or these clinics, or whatever you want. Everyone has their own format. Once or twice a year, go do a free one and hand out flyers to every single one. Every single one of those people that you worked with for that day, hand them a flyer at the end of the day and shake their hand.
Yep. You only get out what you put in.
So,
and actually, you can get more by just putting in a little.
Yeah, yeah. So I think for on a pro level, do things like that, like work within the community, whether it be the gear, the tires, offering your time once or twice a year for some clinics, you know, or just trying a mentoring program. Mentor a little 50 rider, Pee-wee rider for a few months. You know, maybe you can come up with so many different ideas, programs, setups. Come up with a few things. That shows that you're working within the community. You're going to get some people hyped about you.
Right. For sure.
We still haven't debated anything.
I know.
What do you got? I know you got some more saucy things in there. What else we got?
Well, I'm already done with that section. Now we're on to the retaining sponsors if you want to move on.
Have we pretty well covered stuff about selling yourself? Maybe, can I throw out some marketing ideas for social media?
Sure.
Do you want to throw any out before I do?
No.
I need a cola. I'll wait till after the show. The coffee, I made my coffee actually a little hot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's getting warm in here.
My coffee's hot too.
What's that?
My coffee's hot too.
I don't think you have coffee over there, Joe.
That's right. It's cold.
Yeah. So before we move on, just as someone who does a little bit of social media, some tips maybe for some people if you want to get noticed. Like I said earlier, like, know who you are and what your story is, whatever that is. If you are one crazy mofo, I mean, I'm not judging right now. I'm just talking on selling. I'm not passing judgment on your moral compass. We can go into that later. But if you're a wild party and mofo, you know what? There's going to be some people into that. Just sell that. Don't try to fake it unless you're actually trying to fix yourself. If you're just trying to sell something else to people, don't. Just accept who you are. Sell that. If you want to fix yourself, maybe clean up a little. Cool. Actually do that and then sell it. Just don't try to sell something you're not. If you are a long-haired hippie stoner who likes to wear dresses on the weekends, you know what? It might be a hard sell for some, but cool, rock it. Just, you'll be different. You'll be known as the only motocrosser that wears dresses. Cool. Just sell, know who you are, sell that. So, you know, some ways you can do that on social media. Just think about that before you post. Think about that. Just before you start picking your picture or taking your picture for Instagram or Facebook, think about that. Let that process through your head for a minute or two and then post. So let's not forget, if you only post once every 2 weeks on Instagram, not a ton of people are going to be really caring, you know, what you're doing. Sorry, that's not frequent enough. If you're doing 15 posts a day and there's no meaning to any of them, they're also going to be like, okay, you're just spamming. I'm going to unfollow you. Right. So you have to use a little bit of intelligence, but if in doubt, go a little heavy on the frequency, I believe. Just never make it seem like you're just throwing stuff out there. Like, give them something. Instagram's the easiest one in the world. Just put 2 sentences that's in 3 hashtags. Oftentimes that's enough. You can put 3 words if they're really funny and witty. Mm-hmm. Just, you don't, it's short form. Instagram is short form. Just don't forget, you have to always try to be yourself. Don't try to be someone else. And try to post frequently. Even if you're out there to try to get noticed for your race, and let's say you're a privateer, your focus is racing, then show other sides, like the smoothie you're making in the morning, your workout, you washing your bike. Oh, you had a race at Atlanta and it was a mudder. Post some photos to show them what it's like to bring your muddy boots next to your bike after the race. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're telling a story to people. And just remember, every time before you post, remember, even if you have to just keep a note, a 1-paragraph note. I did this for a while. Who am I? Just don't forget who you are and stick to that and post as much as you can, as long as it doesn't seem spammy, and just try to tell your story. What's it like to go over here and race? What's it like to over there? What was training like? I got hurt. Show how you got hurt and just tell your story, and it'll just naturally flow from there, you know, honestly. But if you post, I've seen some of these pros like post once a month or something. Like, you think the sponsors are hyped about that? Instagram stories are great. We've gone back and forth on opinions on Instagram stories. I love them because actually you'll get more people that see them than your posts. Now, they do go away in 24 hours. Right. But you can also go ham. You can do all sorts of stories every day, every day, every day. Shout out a different, if you have 15 sponsors, shout out a different sponsor every single day. Just know that, make a note to yourself. Once again, notes are great, but make a note to yourself. Thank at least one sponsor a day on my story. How long does it take?
I know, that'd be nice, right?
But how long does it take to make a story? Just to, okay, I have a Riverdale hoodie on. I'm going to do it right now. You want to time me?
Sure.
I got to actually get to Instagram. Okay. So I'm on Instagram. So I'm going to right now do a Facebook story about Riverdale. I got to get my camera turned around the right way. That's always a problem. Yep, bad picture. I look like a dork. And I'm not a dork. I got to be true to myself. Now I look stoned. Wow, I hate selfies. That's the problem. Try number 3. There we go. Took me 3 tries. I'm like a girl here, but
that was 36 seconds somewhere.
36 seconds?
Yeah.
Reppin' Riverdale MX. Boom. And I'm probably going to get about 250 to 300 hits on it. Views, Yep. And yeah. So that took me a minute.
Not even.
Yeah. And I just thanked a sponsor, Riverdale MX. So
yeah, that's one thing that's furious, and it keeps me away from social media, because when I see our riders and I don't see a post or a tag, it just pisses me off. So,
and some
for
people
the last
aren't
6
naturally,
months,
and some people aren't naturally vocal, and some people don't like doing a lot of that. Yeah. However, you're going to have to change those habits if you're trying to get serious about growing your racing career. I don't care if people are not even on social media. It's not for everyone. That's totally fine. I'm just saying, if you want to get the most out of growing your racing career, I use career loosely because very few people have a career in it, but if you really want to aggressively grow that, and you're going to have to use some social media, and if you're not someone who likes to post a lot about themselves, which I get, there's nothing wrong with being someone who doesn't like to throw their whole life out there for everyone to see, but you might going to have to put that on hold and learn how to communicate with people, because
and some of them feel like they're kissing their sponsor's ass by posting, and it's like, that's your job.
Yeah,
you asked for help, and we didn't come at you.
Isn't that your job?
Yeah. When you make a deal, you follow through. So,
how hot my coffee is right
now.
I
mean, you weren't too proud to beg.
My coffee's 103 degrees. My digital thermometer, guys, is my new favorite toy.
Yes,
Sorry.
it is.
I agree with you on that. Anyways, I will talk about social media forever. So let's move on. What else you got? You're the one with the notes right now.
The next topic was retain sponsors.
Once again, go back to social media. That's my first thing. Just once you got your sponsors, don't forget about them. Keep shouting them out. Keep tagging them. Keep talking about them. Once in a blue moon, hey, maybe drop a phone call or a text. Hey, how's it going, guys? Just want to say thanks.
Yep. Yeah, my first point was do what you agreed to do, and then some. Under promise, over deliver. So if a sponsor asks you to tag them or do a post about them specifically once a month, do it twice a month.
That'll go a long ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
You know, like I said, you want help. You come at a sponsor asking them for help. They're not asking you to run their stuff. And then you don't do what's asked of you to do. That's not a good way to retain sponsors. For sure. That's the number one.
I'm not going to debate you on that at all. I 110% agree.
Yep. Push products in a professional way. Example, if someone is using a product that your sponsor sells, mention that your sponsor sells the same product and that part of those proceeds help support your racing career. Example, like shirts, hats, or a biggie. I mean, because when they wear them, it doubles the effort with more advertising. So, you know, like 110 clothing. If somebody's wearing a Fox shirt, you know, your rider should say, hey, why don't you wear a 110 shirt? It's return on investment for you. And then if that person wears that shirt, it's it's basically free advertisement. It's not free, but especially, I mean, if they buy the shirt from you, that next person puts a little money in your pocket, and it's advertisement.
Yeah,
for sure. That's all I got on the retaining sponsors, so we can.
I think that just quite simply, yeah, what you started it off saying, under promise, over deliver. Come up with your own way to show that, but do that and you're going to keep them. Simple as that. Like, we don't even have to say anything more.
That's it.
Right there. Under promise, over deliver. You can come up with a million different creative ways to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could go off on a few tangents here, but quite simply, that's it.
Well, even in everyday life. I mean, if somebody asks you if you can do something, under promise. If it's going to take you a week, tell them 2 weeks, and then do it in a week.
Yes.
Do it in 4 or 5 days. I mean, it shows determination, you know, and then if it ends up taking you that 2 weeks, it just takes you that 2 weeks, and at least you were true. I mean, you didn't disappoint. But I mean, I always try to over deliver.
Just slightly over deliver. That will get you far. Yeah. And, you know, stay in communication with them. Sponsors, you know, these companies within the industry are so used to someone going way out of their way to get their attention and get you to help them. But as soon as you help them, boom, they're done trying. They got what they wanted.
Exactly. That's exactly how it is. And
yeah.
Nothing pisses a sponsor off more.
Then like, hey, wait, but you're not the same person you were before. You were like all over our nuts, and you were going to promise the world, and we gave you a small chunk, and now we're not even hearing from you. Yeah. So.
I mean, I had a rider that did not follow through what he was supposed to. And then guess what? Come November, December, and I even messaged the person about this and said, hey, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. No reply back. But guess what? Come November, I got some bite. And that was about 4 months later, because guess what? Next season's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't reply to that person. So that's what sponsors do. I mean, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, we don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get help again. So that's it. I mean, when you're putting out money in or time for somebody and they can't even do a 15th of what you're doing for them. I don't know where I came up with a 15th, but we'll
sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
So
yeah. Just put out some effort, and nothing really more needs to be said about that. Just try to just do a little more than you promised. Simple as that. You can come up with your own way. You know, I don't know what you promised, but just try to do a little more and stay in touch with them.
It doesn't cost you any money to do it.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of time.
It ain't really costing you anything. So.
And how often are you on your phone? You're on your phone all day. You can't
know
tell
what?
me everybody doesn't have 3-4 hours a day that they're sitting on their butt on their phone.
I had a writer bring me cookies one time, and they just said, I want to thank you for helping me out over the years, and they brought me some cookies at Christmas. That was one of the raddest things ever. They even made the cookies themselves. It's just one of those things, like, was there much money involved? No, but like they took the time and effort and thought to do that. It was like, that was super cool. I like you. I want to keep working with you. That was just super cool, you know?
Yeah.
It showed they put in thought.
Yeah, it's like, here's an example, you know, let's say you're a pro motocrosser or even just a motocrosser in general. Okay, typically you don't have a family. You're by yourself all day, say, not even all by yourself, but I have basically 4 girls, a girlfriend. I work a full-time job, and I can still do for you. You can't find a few minutes of the day to do for me. You have 50 times as much time in the day of free time than I have, but you call and you want something, you expect it right away. I mean, I'm just dumbfounded half the time, honestly.
Well,
So,
some people do okay at it, and then there's some
Right.
that just don't.
we're just trying to talk about how to retain
Yeah,
sponsors.
yeah. So let's move on to the next one then. Mr. Notes. And I came in with just my heat.
I've had these
Temp gun.
notes for like a week and a half.
Yeah, well, we failed the first one.
Further your career.
My light bulb was only 61 degrees.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going to be doing this for the next month. This
Yeah, it
thing's so
seems
much
like
fun.
it. Yeah. So further your career. My first one is don't act entitled. If you were as great as you think you are, you would have a ride. Do not ask for help. I'm sorry. If you're as good as you think you are, you wouldn't be asking for help. Because you would have a
Explain
ride.
that one.
So don't act entitled. So basically these riders that...
I think almost anyone would agree with you on that one.
Yeah, so let's just say this rider thinks that he deserves this. It's part of the follow-through, okay? He thinks he deserves something, but then doesn't do what he's supposed to do. So basically, he thinks he's good enough to accept your help and not have to do anything. If you're as good as you think you are, you would have a ride. So you wouldn't have to be asking for help.
Okay. I think I'm following you then, yeah. So,
It was kind of all over the place, but basically, you get the gist.
yeah. I think almost anyone would agree with you, like, don't start acting entitled. No one really likes
Yeah.
that.
Don't act like it's owed to you, or else you would have a ride and be getting paid to ride dirt bikes and not having to ask sponsors for help. So,
You got to come up with something we can debate.
I know.
Give me something spicy.
All right. I don't think we can. I think because we're both sponsors, we agree on everything.
Someone did ask about how to put together a resume. We can touch on that soon.
Okay.
I think that
Should we do that now or not?
if you want.
Okay.
I mean, do you want to bring up like what you think is attractive in a resume?
Yeah, sure.
What do you like? Yeah, what do you like in a resume? I'll tell you what I like.
I'm not a huge
after I hear you.
I'm not a huge resume guy. I mostly just like to meet the people, but sometimes I will not even. I'll go ask somebody, if they need help. But anyways, I would say what the main thing is, and actually, Rick Wilder told me about this, was basically you want to know what can you do for me as a sponsor. I of course want to know how you've done last year, what races you did, if you travel, stuff like that, how many races you go to. But I also want to know what's the benefit to me of sponsoring you.
Now, do you want this in a print form, email form? Do you want a video, or do you not care?
I don't really care, print or video. We haven't received any video ones, but anybody can put together a resume. But if you can explain to a sponsor what you're going to do for them, we just did ours. We're a little late, but we did our resume, and I kind of, it was on an email back asking questions, explain to them what we can do. Because our resume is really long because there's a lot of riders, this and that. But I mentioned how we went to Seattle Supercross with the coach and the trailer, 35-foot easy up setup. So we did Seattle, and then we did, I mentioned we did the Summer Classic, and I mentioned $10,000 pro purse race. The week before Washougal, a $15,000 pro purse at Thursday Night Motocross, Washougal National. And I just kind of pointed out some exposure that they will get. So basically, what I can do for you.
I think that's pretty big.
I
Don't
mean,
spend so much time really. You don't need to go into your whole history of 10 years of results.
Spider.
Just, I'm more interested to hear what you're going to do for me. And this is coming from someone who's cut down on a lot of sponsorships, so I don't get involved with a ton of people. My whole thing with especially JJW is I keep my prices low, so I can't really afford to sponsor everyone, especially when everything's a custom product. So, it requires
A lot of
time to make everything. But I already keep my prices low. I don't get into the. Can we talk? Oh, we should finish this before I go into this because I have a rant.
Okay.
Let's finish the resume and then I have a rant I'm going to come back to. But when I work with someone, I don't really care how you give the resume. I'm not super picky.
Right.
A traditional emailed document with photos is good, or if you send me like a JPEG of a really an attractive looking resume, I think is always a plus. You can't go wrong with spending extra time of doing a nice looking resume or hiring someone to create a professional one for you. There's people who literally do that. They do nothing but make cool looking race resumes. So that's not going to hurt you. It'll never hurt you in any situation. Quite possibly could help you. So maybe spend a little extra time to make something cool. I don't really care if it's a video. I've gotten video ones. The video ones are kind of cool, creative, different. I've gotten mailed ones, and that's cool too. Old school, but sometimes, that gets noticed. I think just really, make sure you put in there, explanation of what you can do for them. I don't need to know about your dog. I'm sorry, I'm one of those jerks. I don't care about your grades, or your grades when you were a kid or now as a kid. Like there's a lot of stuff on there I don't really care about, just maybe a little about you, some good photos, what you got going, and it's going to help 20 times more if I already know who you are, or if we've already talked, or if we've already had some level of dialogue. That's going to help.
Yeah. And we all know resumes have a lot of fluff. There's a lot of fluff.
Yeah, we all know that.
So one thing that we do to stand out with our sponsors, and like I said, we're a little late to the game, but we typically just go right back to the same sponsors we have. We like to keep our core group. That's another thing I'll talk about a little in a minute. But once you find a good sponsor, it's good just to stay with them. So the last couple years, we've actually, with our resume, have sent out a thank you plaque. Okay. And this year we're actually going to do coffee cups also. So for PivotWorks, we're going to send 4 coffee cups with one with U of MX on one side. Thank you for your support, 2018, with our logo. The other side of the cup's going to have the PivotWorks logo. The other one, there's going to be Vertex, Hot Rods, Hot Cams. So just something to show appreciation instead of just asking again. I mean, the way to show appreciation is to go out of your way and thank somebody. So I've been to Beaverton Motorcycles. The guys at Works Connection that I deal with, or the guy told me he went and stole it out of the manager's office and has it hung in his office. And they appreciate it. And it's hung up on the wall. I believe even Ben Lever has one of these. I mean, they're not just going to throw it away. They're going to hang it up on the wall, and because they appreciate it. Moto Stuff, he gets one every year, and
I even got one this year.
Yeah, Justin got one.
I even got one for JJW.
Yep. So, and that's something Justin made for me. And if you guys need, let's say you have 10 sponsors and you need 10 plaques made, they're not going to break the bank. That $10 that I'm going to spend, or whatever what are these what is the retail on one of these?
About that, yeah.
Okay, so let's just say they're even $15. You send that out, it's going to cost you $5, so you're in $20. A good sponsor, you're going to save $300, $400, $500 or more a year. So it return on investment for yourself, and to stand out above anybody else, because I don't know how many companies actually send a thank you at the end of the year with their new resume when they're asking again.
Yeah, sometimes those little things make a difference. Those little things. Yeah. It's like the cookies. The cookies.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think the The mugs are probably going to be $200 and something bucks, and I probably got $100 worth of stuff here. So let's just say I'm in $400. The amount of money we're going to save for our riders next year is in the many thousands.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit goes a long ways.
Yeah.
So
we're running low on time. Okay. So can I get one quick rant in, and then we can wrap up the rest of your notes. But there's one thing I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
And it was about, I started thinking about this when I was talking about my pricing. Because you know what a lot of companies in the moto industry do? Now I'm going to start ranting about... I got to be a little careful. But I have some strong opinions on how these people set up their pricing, and they get onto these websites. Like, what's the one now? It's not Sponsor House. It's...
Oh, God. It's... Yes. Hook It. Thanks, Reese.
Yes. Hook It.
Yeah.
It's Hook It.
I got one of those. Somebody told me you have to go through Hook It. I said, forget it. I'm done.
Hook It can go burn their warehouse or wherever they're out of to the ground. Screw that company. And I know I'm going to have all these moto moms like, we get so many deals. I know that. Okay, here's why you get the deals.
So does my brother who never raced.
Here's why you get the deals.
Right,
it's because they are inflating the prices of the industry. These companies raise their prices so they can go through these programs and offer a 30% discount to any Tom, Dick, and Harry, because that's already a better markup than what they're going to sell to the distributor.
Right.
The distributor 50%. Then sells to their retailer. So now let's say let's make up a company. Here, I have some peppermint ovens sucking on the whole show. Peppermint Goggles. Peppermint Goggles wants to sell their goggles for X amount. Okay, they're $80 retail. Now, the normal chain is they sell to wholesale distributor, Tucker Rocky type thing. They sell it to them for $35. Tucker Rocky then sells it for $48 to the retailer. The retailer then sells it for $80. Now, they can also sell to retailer, true, but it's easier to go through the wholesale distributor. Let's also just sponsor 1,000 riders and give it to them at $52. Now they're making even more money off that pair of peppermint goggles than they would have to go sell to the retailer, much less the distributor. Distributors wants way less. But $48 to the retailer, they can sell it to you for $52, and you're forcing them to run your stickers. It's a win-win. But we've somehow over the years built up this weird pseudo sponsorship thing, or it's just they don't know who you are. They don't really care. They kind of get locked into this, and everyone thinks now that's just standard. You get onto these websites and you get your little discount.
Yeah.
Why not just bring the price of the goggles down and quit doing 5,000 sponsorships, 1,000 sponsorship, whatever. It's inflating it. I'm not going to start naming names, but I know multiple graphic companies who will sponsor anyone. Like I only have a couple dozen riders, and they will sponsor 500-600 riders. But like I had one person approach me, man, I love your graphics, but I've been sponsored by these guys for years. Like, well, what are you paying? He tells me, well, $212. They give me like a 30% discount. Like, mine are $185 retail. And he looked at me. It's like, oh man, that's a good deal too. How's the quality? I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's identical material. He's like, that sucks. But hey, I'm sponsored. Whoa. But you just told me you're spending more. What are you getting better? Well, they're giving me a deal, but you're paying more. So it blows my mind that people don't stop and think. Yep. Companies are purposely inflating their prices so they can sponsor 500 people. That drives me insane. That's not how it should be, should it? Right? I mean, call me wrong. That seems a disingenuous way to sell things. It's like we're adding extra puff on top of what the price should be. So the poor, who's suffering from this? The poor Joe Blow trail rider who can't get a sponsorship. He has to pay too much for an item now. I say bring all the prices down 20% and get rid of Hook It. Burn it to the ground.
There we go. All right.
So
I'm gonna read through this list.
You didn't want?
Do you want? A lot of time
are you
on
gonna
this
debate
list.
me on Hook It?
No, I hate Hook It. It's bullshit. It's like I said, my brother hasn't raced in probably 15 years, and somehow he had more sponsors than we had. It's like, it's all you have to do is mark in that you're going riding. Oh, I'm going riding today. I'm working out. I'm doing this and that. It's crap. I don't like it.
Okay. So we just agree. It sucks. I
Yeah.
say get rid of Hook It. Bring all the prices down 15-20% on goggles, gear, the main stuff. But anyway, okay.
Okay. So,
Notes.
so this is still further your career. A person smarter than me said, basically find and keep a core group. So
Of sponsors?
no, of people around you.
People? Okay.
So basically, they used Ricky Carmichael as an example. He had a core group. He never strayed from it. He kept the same group around him. Okay.
Ricky Carmichael?
Yeah.
Dwarfs?
Yeah. So trainers, mechanics, sponsors, if possible, don't jump to another sponsor because it sounds better. Let your
I get where you're going with this.
let your
Okay.
existing sponsor know what the offer is, so they have a chance to match or counter the offer.
Okay.
Branch swingers.
110%. If you can retain your sponsors, don't bounce around. No one likes someone who bounces around all over the place.
Because they're not going to want you back.
No. People don't like that. If you can somehow continue working with and retain your sponsors, I think that's huge.
Yep. And now we're on to the do's and don'ts. Okay.
We have
Ready?
yet to debate anything, Joe.
I know, because we agree.
Okay.
So do's. Here's some do's. Train. This is a short career. You have to put more time into the gym than you do on the track. If you aren't going to put in the work, don't waste sponsors' money that could be used for someone who will. I saw a post about 2 weeks ago. It was amazing. I mean, people need to go see this. So Tristan Charbonneau did a post. It was either Facebook or Instagram, basically calling himself out, saying, you know what, I wish I would have just trained. He spent a lot of time not training. If he had it to do over again, he would have trained. And he's done. He quit. He's done. So if you have a chance, go read the post. It's really good. Like I said, you got to train more than you ride.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah. So, and then promote yourself and sponsors. Surround yourself. Oh, I'm sorry. Promote your sponsors and yourself. And then another one. Surround yourself with people who make you strive to be better. Don't. Well, that leads us into don'ts. So surround yourself with people better than you. Like I said, and I've used this as an example.
This is like solid life advice here.
Right?
This is like deep stuff, but I agree.
Yeah. So like I said to one of our daughters that I asked her, like I've said this before, but I've
Don't hang
asked
out with
her.
boys.
Yeah. I asked her, who do I hang out with from the track? And she said, Nick Ryan and Justin Wharton. I said, exactly. Because they are better than me, or, gives me something to strive towards or for, you can always do better. And if you surround yourself with people that are better or equal to you, you're just going to do better. Don't hang around with
I agree with
out
I find
Larrys.
that very flattering. I made the list.
Yeah, you did.
But but I agree. Yeah, like hang around. Well, man, that's just like deep life advice right there. Like, think about the 5 people you hang out with the most. If you have 5, Joe, you're a loner and you don't have as many, or maybe.
I hang out with Reese too. Sorry, Reese.
Yeah. Well, maybe you're social. You have 12, but like the people you spend the most time with.
Yeah, I hang around
Stop
with a lot
for a
of
minute.
people.
And like, what do you get out of them?
Yeah.
Not money or anything like
Yeah.
that, but just like,
How does it to your advantage?
what do
or-
you pick up from them?
Yeah, and I hang out with plenty of people at the track, but the people I actually talk to is mainly you and Nick. I texted Nick today. You need somebody to look up to, basically. So now that leads us into don'ts. Don't hang out with people who drag you down.
That goes right along with what you were just saying. Yeah,
Yep.
just choose who you hang out with, and you have to sometimes step back and evaluate them. Are they funny? Sure. Are they losers who get into multiple DUIs, always try to pull you into a party, once in a blue moon, like, hey, dude, let's just maybe not go practice and let's go to the strip club for they got some steak bites on sale, and like, yeah, but I got A1 in a week and a half. Yeah, it'll buff.
Yeah, right.
That ain't going to help you. Those kind of people aren't helping you.
Yep. And then don'ts. Also, don't take advantage of sponsors. Remember, you asked for help.
Yep.
Most of us don't come to you.
Yeah.
If you don't promote, there is no return on investment. The well runs dry. If this happens, no help for you or anyone else in the future. Another don't. Don't talk crap about current or past sponsors.
You know, that's huge. You know, I actually used to have a sign in the back of my shop at my old shop when I had some more people working for me. And it was a note that always be careful of customers who come in and are basically shit talking about a different shop, like your competitors. If you just come in cold, like, hey, my name's so-and-so, and within 5-10 minutes, you just start slamming another shop. One, you may have just recently had a bad experience. Fair. Okay, and that's fresh on your mind. You're not a fan. However, still use caution, because predominantly it means that they're just that type of person. If they'll do it to this shop, or especially if they bring up more, they're going to do it to you.
Yeah.
And most smart businessmen know that, and they pick up on that, and they're like, yeah,
Yep.
I don't know if I want to work with you.
Yeah. And then run logos and wear swag for entire contract agreed upon. You will completely burn yourself with this one. And then don't burn bridges. Yeah,
I think we've established that one. Don't burn a bridge.
Yeah. Never forget past sponsors. Nothing pisses a sponsor off more than you forgetting the large sacrifices they made for you. Believe me. You'll need their help on your way back down.
I got a quick story. Okay. I helped out this guy who raced Supercross. Helped him out for a year. He got a new sponsor. No big deal. Okay. Well, he said thanks and all that. And so a couple months down the road, I did a Throwback Thursday photo of him. And he's like, hey, bro, can you take that down because I got a new sponsor? I was like, but that photo was from when you had my stuff on, and it shows it in there. And it was just a throwback. I'm not trying to lie to people. It was a throwback to when you were. He's like, yeah, I just can't really have that. Yep. Okay, so you spent the time to reach out to me and ask me to take. I took it down. End of the year, he lost that sponsor. Came back. Hey, would you be interested in helping me out this year? Nope. Screw off.
Pull up.
Absolutely not.
Yep.
Like, no. Go pound sand.
Yep. Another thing to not do, or something to do, but it's kind of a don't. It's both, actually. Okay, so prioritize sponsors. Let's say one sponsor gives you money or something of monetary value that they don't produce. They're in 100%. Another company gives you 50% off, which is basically their cost if they produce it. They're basically not out anything except for profit if you were to buy that product exclusively. If a company gives you free stuff, they are out basically 50% if they produce it, and 60 to 70% if they buy it and resell.
Okay.
They're 30 to 50%.
Okay.
Figure out your savings and put up monetary value for the year. Make a list of the dollar amounts, largest to smallest. That should be your tag and hashtag order. Example, a free bike for a year. It's about $2,000 to somebody that provides it to you. Free t-shirts and hats, $200 from an apparel company, plus you wear it and advertise for them. So if somebody gives you free shirts and hats, it doesn't even compare to a free bike to ride for a year.
Yeah, shouldn't that one be an obvious?
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it's not.
It pains me that I have to say it because it's happened. So if you need apparel, I'm sure your $2,000 sponsor will gladly give you free shirts and hats.
Yeah. Okay, so, I figured that was just an obvious, but maybe I haven't really ran into that too much. Yeah, I mean,
it's take all your sponsors and figure out. Don't just put them in order of who came last, and put them at the top.
For what you're
figure out, what they're sacrificing for you. Like I said, if they're giving you free stuff, it's costing them 50 cents of retail or 50 cents on the dollar. If somebody's giving you a cash allowance for the year, that's actual cash.
Cash talks.
Yeah. If you're getting free pipes, let's say you get free pipes and you get 2 pipes, full systems, that's $2,000. If you're paying half price, you're saving $1,000.
My monitor is warmer than my keyboard, though.
Nice. So that's it. That's all my notes. We didn't get to argue about anything, but we can get Reese here in for the after party, and we could probably argue about plenty.
I'm sure we could argue about Hondas. We can definitely have a good argument about that. But we literally did not debate anything.
No.
This was just like the two of us rubbing each other's backs.
It'd been different if we had a rider on the other side of the table.
Now that would be fun to bring in a pro rider and having a talk with him. It would probably just be us bashing on him, depending on who it is, though. Yeah. Or we might just be praising him the whole time, like, you're so good at your Instagram.
Can I give you free stuff?
I wouldn't want to purposely bring in someone who's really bad at it, though. Then I'd feel like I'm setting him up for failure,
Yeah.
Anything else that we didn't really cover? We went over resumes. We went over how to retain, some things to how to attract other people. I kind of went into my speech about selling yourself.
And then, so yeah, Jamie mentioned Papa first. So her stepdad always said, "You are who you hang out with."
That is on point, man. Everyone kind of rubs off on other people that you spend time with. And the more time you spend with them, the more you kind of rub off on them, or they rub off on you. You hanging out with the wrong crowd, you might be slightly helping them, but they might be bringing you down. So is it worth it? Is it really worth it? Groupies will kill you. Girls and groupies, the #1 killer of motocross.
Yep.
Motocross racers. The #1 killer of motocross racers, girls and groupies, and narcotics.
Yeah.
Too many pain pills.
Yep. If you've got friends at the racetrack and you're an intermediate or pro, and they're not there to support your riding and they just want to hang out and distract you, they don't need to be at the track, especially if I'm sponsoring you. It pisses you off.
Yeah.
And it happened to me.
It happens a lot. A lot of times they find yes people who just like praise them and hang out just so they can kind of be. What they are losers. They're losers. They're losers who don't do anything with their own life and want to just get a little bit of the rub off of you, and they're taking a little bit of rub, but they're taking a part of you. And you're now hanging out with them because it feels good that they talk you up and they think you're cool. They talk you up a little cooler than you actually are. So now you're walking around with a little bit of swagger, and that little bit of swagger is going to make you a little cockier to your sponsors. You're going to start losing sponsors. And it just goes down a bad path. Yes, people are losers. You do not need those people in your life. Yes, it does feel nice to get compliments, but people who never criticize you or never call it as it is, they're just yes people, and they're just there to hang out because they think you're cool, and now they're cool, but you should really just go drinking with them because we only need to go to the track like once, twice a month to get the coolness, and we got enough for a while now. Let's go drinking, man. Dude, strip club's 3 miles away. It's fine, man. We got plenty of time. And 2 a.m. Whatever. Come on, you're still young. You can get up. And he's like, I got a bicycle ride though. I was gonna go at 6 a.m. So you'll be fine. You'll get up, man. You're young. Next thing you know, you're sleeping in with a hangover when you're supposed to be out riding your bike 3 hours ago, and that happens 2-3 times a month, 6 times a month, 9 times a month. How many times? And you're washing your career. Now we're only taking a tiny demographic of the pros here talking about, but
and then 5-6 years down the road, you're saying, I wish I would have. And like I said, read Tristan's post. It took him, I'm sure it took a lot for him to write that. And he was a great writer. So, I mean, for him to say that, he just knows that he could have done better. And I think he did it for everybody else's benefit. So take a minute, go to his Facebook, Instagram, follow him, do whatever, and it's a good read. Only take you a couple minutes. I don't even read fast, and I read it.
Can you spell his last name?
No. CHARBENAEAU or something?
ONEAU, I hope.
Okay.
I think. I'm trying to remember.
I spelled it on here, but only because I'm the only one reading it, and I don't know what it meant.
I got it right. I got it right.
What is it?
It's ONEAU. I actually got it right.
Well, I was way off. I said CHARBENOU, but I didn't need to spell it right because I knew what it said.
Yeah, it was a complicated name, so I was trying to make sure we got it right.
Yeah, and I'm not like bashing him or calling him out. I'm just saying, hey,
he had a good post.
Good job. Yeah, I'm proud of you for writing it, and hopefully the future riders read it and go to the gym and put in your time. People are putting time and money into you, and you owe them the time to go to the gym.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
well, anything else?
No.
Did we cover most of it? All the notes?
So. All the notes are done.
We did it.
Yeah, people got to see how horrible I read, and it was good.
Any final words? Anything we got to get out there? I think we did pretty good covering some topics, and I just thought we'd debate a few things, but guess we didn't.
Yeah, I've got nothing else other than go ride your dirt bikes. Break stuff, buy it local.
Go out, ride your dirt bikes, have fun, put in the effort, give 110%. The show has been brought to you by 110 Clothing, one10clothing.com. If you guys want to check out some of our gear, dropping some new stuff for this winter. It's been fun. Got some new beanies. This one's a Riverdale one. I'm all like Riverdale'd out. I'm still in the mood. We had a Riverdale race yesterday, so I'm still all in my Riverdale mood. But check it out. Got some fun stuff on there. Joe, it's been fun, man.
It has.
Appreciate it.
And also, if you want a sponsorship for 110 Clothing, go to Hook It.
You're funny. You're real funny. All right, Joe, shut this one down. Guys, we'll be back soon on Facebook for the after show.